Hey guys, welcome back to a video. In today's video, we're gonna be learning about encapsulation. So before going into the video, I would appreciate you guys liking and subscribing the video, and feel free to comment. So let's go into the topic. So first, let's see what is the definition of encapsulation. So encapsulation means nothing but like binding of data and methods that operate on that data with a single unit. I know that's a lot of words and we cannot understand. So I'm gonna be showing a diagram too, which is gonna come on the screen in a few seconds. So first, before that, we have to learn what a binding is. So binding is nothing but making something secure. So let's take kind of like book binding, like kind of like covering up the front page of the book or something like that. We understand it. So as you see, the diagram which we see is the encapsulation diagram. Yeah, I know it's kind of like in a capsule kind of thing, which has methods and variables. So these are how it's secured inside the capsule kind of thing. So these methods and variables are secured inside the capsule, not outside or something, inside the capsule. And you cannot like do anything to get the capsule or do something with that. So we understand how this thing works. So let's see an example when encapsulation is used and why is it used. So first I have my class named car, so I'm gonna create it, which is gonna have basically init function, which is gonna have self, and then it's gonna have the name. So till here is pretty straightforward. Self dot name equals name. So till here we understand. So we can even write the print statement, but for now, if you want you can, but I don't want to write this, so if you want you can. So I'm gonna use a vehicle class. Let's keep in lowercase. It's fine, you can keep in capital case, but that's fine. So vehicle, and now I have my variable over here, and now I have to access the car, and inside this I have to put the name called, let me put Ford this time. And now till here I'm gonna print the vehicle, but if I print this, it's gonna print as the location. What I mean by it, as you see, if I run this, as you see, it's kind of like the what is the type of it, and it's gonna print the object kind of thing, but that's not what we want here. We want the name to be printed as Ford dot name. And now if I run this, guess what it's gonna print? Yeah, it's gonna print Ford. As you see, till here it's pretty clear, we understand. And now let's see why encapsulation is used. So first I'm accessing the variable, and then I'm gonna access name equals, let's change it to Toyota. Let's change it to Toyota, and then it have over there. And now if I run this, guess what it's gonna print us? It's gonna print us Toyota. So that works. But why are we using this step? So this is where encapsulation comes into picture. Like, so let's say there's a hacker, so he can like add balance or do something to his account to get a lot of money. So that's basically what I'm doing. I am like kind of like adding or doing something over here, and I can even change it to numbers to say, as you see, if I run this, it's gonna print us and 1 2 3 4 5. So that's what like kind of like a hackers can do. So to protect it from outside people or the people who we don't trust, you just use double underscore, which is gonna make the variable private. I know there's also single underscore. So first, I'm not gonna go through single underscore a lot, but I'm gonna give you an overview of what it is. So single underscore means nothing but kind of like it's gonna secure or protect, same like the double underscore, but it's not gonna give you the full thing. Like what I mean by it is, like if you have a class that inherits the parent class, so let's say I have child class that inherits the car class, we can like change it. So if it doesn't inherit, and it's not gonna change it. So till here we understand. So the single underscore is used only when we know like what class we are giving. It's kind of like giving access to something. So that's how this a single underscore is. So let's take, what about double underscore? So double underscore means private, which is fully secure. You can't do anything. It's fully secure. So I have double underscore here right now, and now I can just type vehicle dot name. Guess what it's gonna print us? So it's gonna print us an error because car has no object named error. What is it saying? Because we already have an attribute over here. It's already saying name. It's saying no attribute, but we already have one because we are using encapsulation. So because of this double underscore, it's not working. So if I remove that, it's gonna become public again, and we can print it as normal. So that's why these things are used. So we understand why double underscores are used. So now let's see some pretty great examples of how double underscore is. So we're gonna use the same thing. So let's say I'll try to change it, which is kind of like before one. Vehicle dot name equals, let's take it this time, let me print a Ford, which is like the wrong spelling of Ford. So if I run this, it's gonna print us Ford. How? Why is it printing like that? Because we are this is not actually the real variable to say. This is kind of like the fake one, so it just created as a new variable. As you see, this is not a variable. We're just trying to access this one, but it's thinking, as you see here, it's kind of like a variable, and it's creating here a new variable, which is like a third, and this is like the different one. So it's basically kind of like creating a new variable. How do you fix it, or how do you know that's fake? So this is how you know it. First, I'm gonna use something called set, or let's take first get name. So because we just want to get their name, and now we're gonna use the self, and then we have to just return the name. Let's return like self dot name. So that's what we want to return. But our name is double underscore, so we have to use double underscore. And now I can just use dot get name, which is pretty straightforward, and then I have to use the parentheses, and then now this should work. As you see, it's printing Ford even though we change over here. So basically what it's doing is it's kind of like making this dot name like kind of like a new variable, which is kind of like creating a new variable. So let's say I have a equals 1 and a 801 or something kind of like that. So it's basically creating new variable. And now we also can change the names using this. So let's change the name using something called set name. So as you see, these are not actually created by Python. These are some method which I created, so you can create it too, which is basically kind of like creating a print statement. So these are not built-in functions or doing something like Python, so we have to remember that. And in this time, I'm gonna return self dot name equals name. What is this name over there? First, this should be underscore, double underscore, and the second mistake over here, it should be name. So because we need the person to give us the input of what name should we take, so that we can put that name, and then it's gonna be as usual. So now if I write this, let me type set name, it have to set the name, and then let's say BMW, and then well basically it's probably gonna print us an error because we didn't separate this in a new line. As you see, if I run this, as you see, code is unreachable, statement should be separated by new lines or semicolons. So we can just not add a semicolon because that's pretty confusing. So instead we can just delete that right there, and then we can just return self dot a name. So it's kind of basically like two lines, so we can use that. And now if I run this, it's gonna print us BMW instead of Ford. So that's it for today's video. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.